Hi, I'm Raya.
And I'm Brandon.
And you're watching
More Love with R and B. Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I said yeah. Yeah.
So today we want to talk to you about something serious.
Dang, I just ruined all that. I'm
No,
sorry.
it's fine. You
Okay.
got to draw them in.
Yes, indeed.
We want to talk to you about something serious, and that is how to genuinely ask for forgiveness. So we know that spouses are going to offend one another.
Oh my gosh. What? Really?
Yeah. You're different. We're different from one another.
This is true.
So there's times where by mistake we just do things that offend. And sometimes we do it on purpose.
Wow, dog. I see where okay.
It's true, right?
I don't never do that to you on purpose. On purpose? Well, let's move on. What's next? We haven't even started. What's next? Go to the next.
So yes, we are gonna do things to offend our spouse. It's inevitable. We can't escape it. There's gonna be arguments, things like that. But then when we go to apologize, sometimes we really fall short in apologizing, which can make the reconciliation process.
Wow. Was that a tough word for you? I did that on purpose. You're right. So never mind. I stand corrected. You got me. So there you go.
Sometimes the reconciliation process is lengthened because the apology is just not given in a genuine way that can be received by the person that was offended. Okay? We need to talk about it.
I feel like you've been offended a time or two.
I have.
What's the next one? What's the...
So, we think that it is important to, number one, talk about the ways that people try to apologize and why that is not an acceptable form of apology.
Yes.
And then we want to give you a tip or two on how you should apologize in a way that we believe can be the best form or introduction to a reconciliation process.
The process of apology.
Yeah, I like that. The process of apology. So what are some ways that people have apologized or that we have apologized to one another that ain't it?
Got it. You ready?
I'm ready.
My bad.
Please don't do that to your spouse.
But you know why? You know why we do that, right? We do that because it just hit me. We do that because I see that whatever the situation is becoming this big thing that I believe you're making it, and I really don't want it to go the way. So if I can maybe perhaps impart my demeanor onto you, which is a fallacy, like it's not true, right and true at all. But if I can impart to you and communicate with you in the way I'm apologizing, which is not apologizing, then maybe it won't be as big of a deal. But if I'm just, oh, my bad, like, yeah, I was trying to,
Has that ever worked?
and yet we all still do it. No, it has never worked, but we still do it because there's something about a situation where you're just like, I see it going and I'm like, I do not need this right now. No, I am sorry. My bad. But
I get it.
But that's more me-centered, that reaction.
I was just going to say
it's more
that
about what I don't want.
That apology is you-centered. You're not centered on the person that was offended. Yeah. What's another way?
I'm so sorry if you were offended by what I said. And here's the thing. A big thing that we deal with a lot, and you and I'm saying like you and I deal with it, but we hear it a lot from other couples. I did not intend to do that. So I am sorry. It's almost like it eradicates or erases that person's whole feeling just because you didn't mean to, but you did.
What was that?
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
And it reminds me of a scene in The Office where Todd Packer was trying to apologize to Kevin Malone, where he was like, I'm sorry. What did he
He said,
say?
I'm sorry, Kevin. You are skinny.
It's like, why are you even apologizing?
Yeah.
Like,
It's not real.
it's definitely a form of gaslighting. You're basically making the person's, like, you're basically saying that the person's inadequacies, the person's weaknesses are why you did what you did.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry if you're so sensitive that this thing offended you.
Which is not a real apology at all.
So now you're putting the blame on me as to, like, I'm the reason why I'm hurt. And that's a really big form of gaslighting.
Yeah.
So yeah, another form of apology is just sorry. I said I'm sorry.
Not I said. I said I'm sorry.
And a lot of times people feel like these forms of apology should wipe away the pain that was caused. I said sorry. So that's it. And it makes me remember Daniel Tiger.
Oh my gosh.
I used to watch
took
this.
it back.
Gotta take it back. Okay.
Got the kids.
Watched this with the kids when they were younger. And Daniel Tiger said, saying I'm sorry is the first step. Then how can I help? So yeah, I sounded just like them too. But yeah, like saying you're sorry is just the first step. You can't just magically say I'm sorry and then expect for everything to be okay. And in the episode where that song came from, it was a girl who kept knocking down Daniel Tiger's stuff or whatever. He got like really offended.
Which is hilarious.
So he like kept gurring at her.
That's why I couldn't be a character on that show, because I would be laughing so hard.
And the girl was like, sorry. And she was like yelling and they're like, stop saying I'm sorry. It's not helping. Like, just because you say you're sorry doesn't mean that, oh, okay.
Right.
I feel better now.
Yeah. Plus they say the best apology is changed behavior.
Hello.
That is the best. I can say I'm sorry, but if I change how I'm acting towards you that is offending you, that is the best way to show my sorrow.
Yeah.
An apology. So
a lot of times we do this. Okay, I'm sorry. So now what? Now what do we do? Sorry. So, and now you put.
I've never done that, so I don't know why people would do that. That's crazy. But continue, please.
Okay.
Because that's crazy.
And so you put the onus on the other person to get over it. To, you know what I'm saying? And so we wanted to kind of talk about how you, the offender, can actually create an environment that helps true forgiveness happen. If you are really sorry, then you're wanting to do whatever you can to foster an environment of reconciliation and whatnot. And so I found this video, and I'm going to link it in the description below if you want to watch it. But I found someone talking about like how to apologize. And I'm like, man, like I had a conversation with Brandon, like we need to institute this in our marriage, but also we need to talk to our kids about this. Like, this is how you apologize, like for real. So the first thing that we believe you should do when you apologize, and I'm gonna just pull it up here real quick. Okay. Is admit what you did wrong. Now, we said, a lot of people say, I'm sorry that you were offended. That's not what you did wrong.
Yeah. And I find it way more defense tearing down ish. Like I find gosh. No. I'm sorry. I find it more, what's the word? Like I find it more like guard dropping for the other person. If when I start with like, hey, before I even get to I'm sorry, I recognize that I did this. Like out the gate, I'm telling you that I know I did this. I'm accepting responsibility that I did do this. Because a lot of times in our apologies, I didn't do this. Like, let's be clear.
So defensive, yeah.
Let's be clear on what the offense actually was. So if you know what the offense was because it offended you, but if you hear me say it, it drops your guards low because of, well, okay, so he knows exactly what is hurting me right now. or she knows exactly what is hurting me or offending me right now. So you would start with, I'm sorry that I did this thing. Not I'm sorry if you, not I'm sorry that, like, I am sorry. I recognize that I did this behavior that made you feel a certain way. Like, start there.
Absolutely. That is, like Brandon said, that is so important to start with what you did. And then the second step, to follow up with that, you explain why it was wrong. Go into detail and flush out. I am sorry that I called you out your name. Please don't do that to your spouse. First of all,
Why
can we
is that the example?
I don't know. It just came to my mind,
I
but
got you.
please don't do that.
Yeah.
But if you in anger do that, then say it. I'm sorry that I called you out your name. It belittles you. It shows disrespect. Like, name it. Name out why this was offensive to your spouse or to whoever you offended. Don't just say I'm sorry that you called them out their name, but why is it offensive? Why did it hurt? Like, go into detail, because like Brandon said, it's a second way to lower their guard. Not only do you realize what you did, you actually understand why it hurt my feelings. That's guard dropping. Okay. The third way, and it's 4 ways. The third way the third step is sorry, I just had my
How you got a mind block and it's right in front of you?
bad. Okay. So the third way is to state how you're going to fix the problem. I'm sorry I called you out your name. It is disrespectful. And I am going to work on never doing that again. If I get angry or upset, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to take a beat. But I promise to never, ever do that, whatever the case may be. But state how you're going to work on not doing that. What?
I like the example. this whole, he was like, I just want to be clear for the record. I have never called you out your name.
No.
I just want to make it clear, because like, normally people pull examples from real life. But you don't know where to go. You just go to anything. Like, what have I dealt with today? Like, I called you out your name. I'm looking over here like, why would...
No.
But never, it's a good example.
Never in
it's
the
a good
time
example.
that Brandon and I have dated or been married.
In 22 years.
Never, ever.
That's why I was like, why she picked that? But I get it. I was just like, can we please tell the people that's not our story?
No.
But I like the example that we are not, an example that's just generic. I like
it's a
that.
generic. I'm
very
so
generic. I just was like, girl, what are these people out here?
No,
we know watching this.
No.
But
He's
yes,
never.
how are you going to fix the problem? I think that's very important. You and I have both have had to do this with each other, because I think the main key of all the things, bringing them together, acknowledging what you did, admitting, what we did was wrong and why it was wrong. Because part of that that's really huge is typically when I offend somebody, it's like I'm offending someone I know. So I know why it's wrong. And there's nothing more important that could bring you, well, I don't say nothing, but this is a very important step to bring you closer to reconciliation, because now the person is like, okay, you know me. Like, when you were in the moment offending me, part of the offense was like, do you not know me at all? Like, why would you say that? Or why would you do that? You know I don't like that. So when you come with the apology and you say, I am so sorry I did this thing. I know you hate when I do ... I wasn't even thinking. I apologize.
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, I know that you know what you did. You're accepting responsibility, and you know why it offended me. It might not offend somebody else. That might not be, that you might be on your job calling people out their names, and they love it. I don't like it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to admit the why and how I'm going to fix it, because it shows that there's a relationship. Like, I know you, and this is going to help me get to, not just affirm, but, serve you more in my role as your spouse. Because now I'm like, I know you don't like that. So I'm going to be more watchful with that. I will never again call you out your name, because I know you don't like that.
Yeah, exactly. And And the last step is to ask for forgiveness. A lot of people say, forgive me. Like they tell you, like they tell the person, hey, I need, like, just forgive me. Forgive me for what I did. And they like walk away. But humbly asking for forgiveness, it, number one, again, is a humbling thing, which hopefully lowers the guard of the other person. But when you ask, like, hey, I said all these things. I said why I believe I offended you. I said why it was offensive. And I said, I named the things that I was going to do to change my behavior.
Yeah.
When you ask for forgiveness, number one, it allows them to participate in this reconciliation process, but it also gives them the opportunity to say, because they're the ones who were hurt, okay? It gives them the opportunity to say, actually, that's not what was bothering me.
True. And then you got to start the steps all over again.
But this is a humbling situation.
For
if you
sure.
care about your spouse, you want to know, what am I doing to hurt our relationship? What am I doing to offend you? Because I don't want to. I don't want to offend you. I might have been angry, whatever the case may be. I don't want to offend you. So this is what I believe I did. This is why I believe it hurt you. These are the steps that I'm going to do not to do it anymore. With all this information, do you forgive me? And if there's something that I don't know, if there's something else that I did to offend you, like, this is the time. But ask for forgiveness and allow them to forgive you.
Agreed. And I think that is a very important piece, so that once you've said all those things and now your balls are in their court, it puts them in the position of knowing, like, we're going to kick somebody when they're down. Like, they have humbled themselves with all these steps and put themselves in a position to be forgiven.
Yeah.
So have grace and forgive them.
Absolutely. Now, just one tip to not do in this situation. Okay.
Here we go.
Sorry,
drum roll. Go ahead.
Do not try to defend yourself at all.
Oh, the person asking for the forgiveness.
Yeah.
Correct.
Don't say, I did this, but the reason why, I just want to let you know why I did it. I want to let you know why I did it. Don't do that. That's not the time. And there's so much temptation to explain why you offended someone. It doesn't matter. The person that has been hurt does not care why you did it. In that moment, the only thing that you need to focus on is the fact that someone you love was hurt by you and you're fixing it. Now, later, you can say, hey, remember last week, or remember a couple of days ago when we talked about that thing? Can I just give you some context? I know you forgave me and I'm really sorry, and I still promise never to do that thing, but I want to give you some context about what happened. Fine. In the moment where you're asking for an apology, do not be defensive. Do not give any context. Do not explain yourself. It is not the time. Just putting it out there.
Agreed. Well, we hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you like and share this with your spouse if you feel like they need help in these matters.
Yeah, and if you have any tips on other things to consider when asking for or receiving an apology, leave it in the comment section below. We're trying to help each other out. Okay?
For reals. So thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.